Hello, everybody. Namaste, India. Indeed, thank you, India, for this great chance to meet people from India and other places of the world, to see how big India in developing machinery industry, sugar industry, ethanol production, power plant production. It's very nice to meet people whom I met before also, Mr. Arvind, Mr. Brun, and some other people. You know, even you coming from United States to India, you can meet people whom you met before on different SAT meetings and other European sugar technology meetings. And it's my pleasure and privilege to present to you today our presentation is about purchasing new and used machinery, and what's the difference between purchasing new and second-hand machinery based on a discussion of ROI. ROI, as everybody knows, is return on investment. I forgot to move my power. So it's using return on investment to compare purchase of new and used equipment. You know, it's a very important ROI formula in anybody who invests in money in business. Everything we're doing in business is mostly about to get profit. So how much money, how much cash, how much borrowing money you invest in business, in sugar production, some other. How good your return in there, it's a major question for anybody who invests money in any business. And the business could be absolutely different. You know, it's from business to invest money in the business to produce sugar, or invest money to produce machinery for sugar. But anyway, it's a rate of investment and rate of return. Like I said, different industry require different approach. I'm from industry when we buy and sell machinery. We dealers. We buy machinery for our warehouses, for our customers, so they can come and buy. How much we should spend money this year, next year, to buy more machinery, or maybe put some more salesperson in this avenue, or put more money for advertisement, and even to come for this show and spend $10,000 to fly and see you, but it's also very important to understand what is return on your investment. And ROI, I will do a little bit this. Okay, one of the major aspects to invest money in industry is investing in machinery. We offer to the market used secondary used machinery, and what the factors to consider in making decision to buy second-hand machinery. First of all, this equipment usually built to last, especially in sugar industry. You know, milling equipment, or it's vacuum pans. Our machinery, used machinery, when it is invested in industry, it's a cost saving. From 30% to 70% cost saving is in using machinery. Time saving. You know, to open order for something to produce takes up to 2 years, 1 year to 2 years, especially big pieces. Our machinery ready to go, and it's real time saving. We can also talk about global market, and it's everywhere. You know, we move machinery from one place to another. What does mean global market invite availability? Personally, I bought a factory in Japan, refinery, sugar refinery. It was 8 years ago, and we moved this to Indonesia. Example, how much money saved. I'm telling you, I sold to Indonesia about this package of refinery, 480 tons per day. It's a small refinery, but it was good refinery. We sold this around $600,000 cost of sugar refinery. So people on the market where there is no available money, and you have to go and borrow this for high interest rate, it was a really good buy, and it was available. This plant worked in Indonesia. Then they come back and ask us, can you supply us another sugar refinery? We had one refinery, Houston, in Florida. We opened this plant. It was, I believe, 800 tons per day sugar refinery. We sold this, moved this to Indonesia, it works. So it's just an example how global market works. Where we buy in one place of the world, moving to another one. Of course, used machinery, second-hand machinery, there is a chance to rebuild this machinery. So don't be afraid to buy used machinery. It's not a big deal. We go to original manufacturer, and they help us to rebuild boiler, to rebuild centrifuges, to rebuild vacuum fans. So we continue to bring job to original manufacturer. But we saving money, first of all, for our customer, and we save a planning, actually, because you cannot produce and produce and produce. You cannot just scrap it, you know. So somebody saving money and somebody making profit, it's our company who helps this. This is just one example, another example of what we sold last year. It's a cogeneration plant, Siemens, 13,400 kilowatt capacity. Originally was built in 1986. We sold this for 2.5 million euros. New plan today to build approximately 12.5 million euros. You see the difference in prices. You can see the difference in savings. It's all about return on investment. It's all about return on investment. Of course, I like some notes and comments during our meeting when Mr. Arvind was presenting his papers. I heard like a gentleman from France, Jean Ray, I believe, Mr. Jean Ray. He said, tell me please, how people learn and how people understand that saving money also in delivery. Delivery came to the place. What's the distance? How is he going to deliver it? By water or something else? It's also it's also a question to businessmen where to invest money to get better return on investment. So we continue. I show you this case. And now I'm coming to the so-called case history and hypothetical. I'm just taking one example of a so-called sugar co, South Asian company, Sugar Co. They want to reduce the cost of new sugar factory with processing 3,000 tons per day beets by using previously used but rebuilt equipment. Project consists of juice section, this is beet reception through diffusion section, and refinery section as a balance of the plant. We will assume the engineering done to the entire site. Case history and hypothetical continue. 3,000 tons per day juice section is based on a real project completed by us, Perivaitis company, and with cooperation with the company Sahavtomat, gentleman sitting here, Mr. Yarovoy. It's a company who helped us to build a section of proposed ethanol plant from beet reception through diffusion based on using new and previously used but rebuilt machinery. PCs, beet reception. This section was installed next to cane processing. So people were producing ethanol from cane. Then they decided, what about investing in growing beets, in producing, get additional time for this ethanol production unit and get beets for production. So it's a very simple schematic for you to understand. Beet reception, beet washing, beet slicing, diffusion. After diffusion, juice coming for bioethanol. Now, after diffusion, there is another stage where you can save money and make it more on return. You send pulp after diffusion to pulp presses, and you get your juice back to the process, to ethanol, additional juice. And even after this, we send pulp, beet pulp, to pulp drying and granulation, then it goes to cattle, animal feed. This is so beautiful job which was done by this Ukrainian company, Sahavtomat, for us, for our customer, because we rebuild machinery also. But because we bought this machinery in the Ukraine, so original company in Ukraine, they know this machinery, they install machinery, new machine, they rebuild this to condition of new machine. I'm telling you, when I was checking everything, because I was responsible for final result, I was checking how they control the quality of the rebuilding. It was in a special journal where they were registered every bearing replaced on this machinery by sign. So worker would bring bearing, was getting new one, and after this, you can see stone catchers, beet slicers, diffusers, all this equipment and others. It's a lot of tonnage of machinery. I believe it was about 250 tons of machinery. It was delivered to India and installed by this company. So I decided to present to you this case. Oh, it's better. This case based on numbers, which is a just assumption. It's not related to anything. It's a just assumption. We calculated approximately cost of this package of machinery for ethanol production as a 3 million juice section. It includes cost of machinery, cost of rebuilding, dismantling, rebuilding, packing, installation, supervised revision. So it's about 3 million euros somebody spent on to buy this package. If you compare this equipment to new machinery, same machinery made in Ukraine that time, it would cost 8.2 million. Similar European built machinery, which is more quality, might be, or maybe not might be, will be considerably more, even double cost. And so believe me, I know the cost of good machinery in Europe. Period of time between order and delivery juice section was roughly 6 months. If you compare this to new machinery, it's about 15 months average. You know what? We also assume that annual maintenance cost for equipment which was rebuilt will be the same as the new machinery. But after a specific period of time, we consider this like 15 years. Of course, maintenance of used machinery will increase, we assume about 2% more. And in our calculation, we tried later on, we tried to show this, and just like example, because so many different sides of the project could be involved in the pricing. So the cost of refinery section, in addition to this, for this plant, we assume it was 50 million plus engineering. Now, next step, we decided to go and calculate what this company, Sugar Car, will get in a profit. We assume that this is it's not assuming, it's a 3,000 ton per day beet processing unit. What is good in South Asia, you can do a couple crops, 2 crops, so you get in like 200 days to process. That's It's a very good. So based on how much you process, cost of bids, and so on, we calculated that operational profit is 2,880,000 per year. Now, we have to allocate operational profit between juice section, remember I showed you, and refinery section, which we're not supplying, but we assume it costs 50 million. Maybe it's going to be more, but 50 million. So after we allocated this profit, a lot of calculations, small calculation for people in financial, they understand this very fast. You also can see them. I don't want to stay a long time on these numbers, but we allocated to juice section about 14.29% of operational profit, just to this piece, this section, which we presented right now. Now we decided to go and calculate ROI, return on investment. It's very simplified. Believe me, it's simplified, but to just show you the way of our calculation. It's everything like known. Operational for profit 2.8, we already calculated, we found that allocation is 14.29. So finally we calculated ROI, return on investment for used machinery, second-hand machinery, rebuild, is 13.3%. For new machinery return is just 4.75. You see it's almost 3 times difference. You know, everything I was telling you before, it's so simple, but when it's really get to the point of investment calculation, especially for people who involved in the calculation, it's very important to understand so-called internal rate of return, because every year something changes. Bad weather, good weather, rate goes back and forth. So many things involved in a final IRR return, internal rate of return. And we calculated, we just took one of the collaboration in this. It's, remember I told you 2%, because second-hand machinery, if even this machinery rebuilt to condition on new, anyway, after 15 years, and you can see after 15 years, it's already extra maintenance. Because in time, after 10 years, 15, in our case 15 years, we come into additional 61,000 additional maintenance per year. So we come in actually to project investment and return total internal rate 12.37. So it's close to 14.9, but actually it's a little bit low because some kind of fluctuation. You understand? Even money on the market, how much they was this year, next year, what's the interest rate, and whether and not whether. Okay, very good. I got problem. Okay. Okay. Conclusion. Now, something doesn't work on me. I will read conclusion from my papers. I'm sorry. It's going to be the last page I would like to present. I don't want to keep you. It's a pity that I don't have. Oh, this is main. After what I say. You know, it's a 5 conclusion or 6, not so many, but I will read it. Return on investment is analysis of how much profit will be generated as a percentage of amount of investment. Return on investment is a way of determining where to allocate your resources. Return on investment is a search for internal rate of return for investment over time by years. And return on investment is an aid to investors. On this last picture, which says God showed for this, it says, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know, investing money, you can invest money anywhere, but should you invest money with that? It's the question. So you have to understand, not everybody can invest in second-hand machinery. It should be a very smart approach based on integration of so many things, right? Engineering, original manufacturing support, and so on. It's not so easy. That's why marketplace is blooming from bad supply of used machinery. People supply bad machinery, not working machinery, it's a bad experience people don't like. So before you invest money, you have to understand whom you invest with, what you're doing, and what you do. Otherwise, you're gonna get the same result like you see on this. Thank you very much.